Hey guys, it's Davius Minimus again. Just going to complete this Magic Online League. A couple of matches to go. It started pretty well. The first three matches of the league should be somewhere on my YouTube channel. I'll try and link it below if I get a chance. But let's jump into the games. Whilst that's loading, I might as well get the deck list up. I mentioned yesterday that I moved the Dismember to the main for a 28th land, and I put a couple of more lands in the sideboard so I could go up to 29 if I want to. So that's obviously the list that we're at. We can't change mid-league, so we'll have to suck it and see. Games-wise, yesterday we played against Taking Turns. We played against... I can't remember what we played against, but it went well. I felt like we got good hands when we needed them. We got pretty reasonable matchups as well. We won a lot of dice rolls and we've won another, so that's good. This hand is fine on the play. I mean, it's not exciting, but it's fine. I'll probably just lead on a Clanny Garden because we may want untapped lands next turn. Plus the plant's relevant against Goblin Guide or something like that. But yeah, I prefer to, if they was to Thoughtseize this hand, if Stirring's found an Amulet, they'd play take it. If I wait a turn, they might take the Stirrings, which is fine, but they're most likely to take something better. So anyway, not to worry about that. We are just playing Affinity. I say just, that's quite an aggressive hand. He doesn't have any threats though other than that, so that's good. I'm going to start off on the Stirrings. I might find a land that we want to play. We don't. So now, obviously there's two choices. We could play Simic Growth and just pass, or we could play this and play the Scout. The Scout's a much better line here because one, it's unlikely to die. Two, we have the third mana for Chakral's users should we need it. If they do have Galvanic Blast as an example, and we can still create plant tokens as well. So yeah, Scout's fine. This hand is still a little bit away from doing a lot. We probably struggle to beat a good hand from Affinity here. But that's fine. I'm going to take two. I'm not going to waste a plant token on 2 damage. Hopefully I don't regret that later, but they've got Cranial Platers and 5/5s kicking around. They've got no evasion at the minute, so these plants should go a long way. We really want to find an Amulet now. Now we've found the second Stirrings. We missed. So what do I want to do here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I take the Mana Confluence, I could tap the Scout, play the Gemstone, play the Mana Confluence, play Simic Growth, pick that up, replay it, and I'll have 6 next turn. Playing these users, so I like that. We'll do that. We're getting there slowly. In fact, it's not even that slow. This is going to be a turn 4. The hand wasn't stunning. His hand isn't stunning either. Against us, that hand's really mediocre. It needs some sort of evasion. His Master of Ethereum's going to be as big as our Primeval Titans. That's annoying. But other than that, not too much to worry about. Signal Pest is good here. So obviously they can equip it up. At this point though, we're just chucking plant tokens under things. Both of those threats are big enough for me to chump with, so we will. Right, okay. Let's have a look at the list. There's not a lot we can do here. I guess it's play Primeval Titan and try and set up an engineered explosives, but it's not a good spot. This mana confluence is starting to get slightly annoying as well. But we'll just play this. I guess we want a bounce on a Teleria West. It'd be great to be able to set up a couple of plant tokens here, but not really sure we could afford to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because obviously both of these are bigger than the Titan. I think the Queen of Plate is going to move here. And then maybe I'll block the Massive Ethereum on the Scout, since the Scout's the weakest of my creatures. I'm struggling to know what is in his hand. It might be an ex-champion, another land. Although he missed a land drop last turn, so... Yeah, I thought it must be a 3-drop. That makes life very difficult. I'm not sure we've got enough to survive this. I might chump with the Azusa because EE on 3 actually takes away a lot of their power. But this Signal Pest is going to put me on 6. If I kill the 2 Massive Ethereums, it'll get -4, so it'll be a 6/3. So let's assume 7 because of the... let's assume they play another artifact. So yeah, I'm gonna try and get E on 3, which, you know, it leaves us short of an answer for Signal Pest, but I think this is fine. It's that bloody mana confluence is just bad news. So we play these guys. I'm going to attack, and then if he chooses to block, I'll pop it. If he doesn't, I won't, because it stops him running out of 3-drop before combat next turn. So the right thing for him to do here is obviously just to block it. We need some life to beat the Signal Pest. So we'll gain 2, we'll pick it back up, we can replay it. That's about as much as we can do, unfortunately. Yeah, so he's with the right play, so we'll pop this. Yeah, so I mean, as you can see, we've got enough life to beat this Signal Pest, even if he has an actual creature, and he does have an actual creature. Yeah, if the Memnite comes, we'll have to block it. We'll pick up... in all honesty, the Radiant Fountain's not actually going to do anything now. I don't think. I don't think it does anything in hand. I don't suppose anything else does either, so we'll pick it up. It's an untapped mana source, so that's good. I'm not really sure whether there's a draw here that can get us out of this. Maybe a Kessig Wolf one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 8, sorry. 8 on a Kessig is 14. Yeah, I mean, let's have a look. Dismember. We could draw into a Dismember off Tireless Tracker, so let's give that a go. 1, 2, 3. Tireless Tracker. suppose we could find an amulet. Nope. Okay, so there is another line actually. I could gain 2. I can summon this pack for his user, play it. Get Vesuva, copy the Radiant Fountain, and get Bounce Land, pick up the Radiant Fountain, replay it, so that'll take us up to 8. Which is getting us pretty close to safe. And obviously we have the added bonus of some clues as well. And the good thing about this is that we have lethal next turn, so he's going to have to draw something like a Galvanic Blast or another Cranial Plating. Let's crack a clue, let's just see if we can find something. I don't think I want to play that. I don't want to go down to 5. Being on 8 life would make us pretty safe, I think. Yeah. 7 life isn't as safe. Let's just have a Ghost Quarter out. Okay, this is going to be pretty close. A massive Ethereum would do it as well, actually. Inkomoth doesn't do it. Yeah, he knows he has to block. And he can't afford to. Okay, the battle cry I didn't actually realise about. So the Ghost Quarter was actually pretty key there. If he'd have activated that and swung with that, it would have been 7 because of the Inkmoth and 1 there. So we've really dodged a bullet there. And you draw the perfect card. Considering we don't have an amulet in play, this is pretty great. I don't think we can lose from here. We got a little lucky though, we had to fade a couple of things, but we've managed it. Used a bit of the clock, so just have to be aware of that. This makes 12 damage. Don't need to do any more. We'll save our clock. Oh, close. Hopefully we get a little better post-board. Take Edge isn't stunning. Dismember isn't particularly stunning. None of them are any good. So let's just work out what we do want. I don't want Pact Negation, they empty the hand too fast. Explore's quite weak because it's slow. And Tireless Tracker is a grindy card that we don't particularly need. If we're bringing in Tech Edge, I'm quite happy to trim a land or 2. Jukabog does nothing. How's that look? Looks a card too many, but it looks decent. I don't like trimming Mana Confluence when we've got a couple of dismembers. I think a Primeval Titan can come out since we've got another top end. We don't want to curve too high in this matchup for definite. Paraclasm, Dismember, Vex Age coming in for stuff like Tyler's Tracker. It keeps the curve relatively similar. This is a bounce land away from perfect, so we'll keep it. I think it'll be too slow to transmute for bounce land, but it's an option. There's a bounce land. Right, so if we play this, next time we play this, make 4 play this, so we don't get to make a Titan next turn, but this way it allows us to potentially transmute to AOS for an EE whilst making some land drops, so it sort of puts us slightly ahead. I nearly didn't play the Scout because of the Galvanic Blast, but I felt like Amulet would have some relevant targets too, so yeah, he's obviously struggling for mana. Worries me a little bit. He could be on a very interactive hand, you know, he could have Wear Tear here, something like that, and that would keep us slow. He's 2 damage a turn I can cope with. So we just want to end the turn with some lands in play and some growth in hand, so that's what we'll do. Okay, he's probably good to go now. Okay, that's good for us. If he's drawing 2, he's not playing threats. And we're going to get to the stage where this Summoner's Pact becomes a Hornet Queen and we'll just win from that position. Right, okay, so we start off making some mana. I'm going to pick up this gemstone and replay it, I think. I want to try and keep some lands in play, so yeah, I just want to get as many lands in play as we can. There's maybe a line here that could get me a double Titan. I didn't really stop and think about it, but maybe if you find that line you can let me know. But really all I was looking to do was get this Titan on board, get swinging. One of the worst things that can happen to us right now is a Blood Moon. So yeah, let's just play around that. Yeah, let's just play around that. It's unlikely, but that clock over there is so slow. I'll take the risk. And obviously now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 mana available should we need it. I wonder what this guy's trying to dig for. Well, that'll do. That will do. Excellent. So yeah, I mean, he had Galvanic Blast and got stuck on one land. Maybe a little greedy on his part. I don't remember if he's mulliganed at all, but perhaps it was greedy keep. Maybe he was down to 6 already, but we don't know. We don't know that for definite. So yeah, good start. And I mean, I can't remember the last time a league went this smoothly for me. It's pretty unheard of. Don't expect this all the time. I'm just going to have a quick look back at what we played yesterday. So I think this was taking turns the first game. Yeah, it's taking turns. We played. I think this was. We did play against a Bant. I think what was probably Bant Nightfall, but we didn't know. This was just a fairly aggressively curved Jund deck that had Tarmogoyf. So look, I mean, we played taking turns, which is only half a deck really. It's not really it's about as real as ours, to be fair. So it's still a deck, but it's not something you're going to see every time you turn up at an event. We beat Jund, matchup that I quite like. We beat Bant Nightfall, which actually is quite can be quite tough. It's pretty even, generally speaking. Their 10-3 combo hands are like basically impossible for us to beat. Spell Queller is pretty relevant as well. And then obviously Affinity, which I didn't expect us to win that game 1. But neither of his hands were particularly good. They were decent. They just, 2 massive Ethereum. You would always rather have Steel Overseers and go wide, or Outbound Ravager and go over the top, but he just didn't have a lot of air. So we were lucky. We were lucky to face a lot of ground creatures with our ground creatures type deck. But 4-0 and not dropped a game. This is a pretty impressive run. If we win this last game, I'm definitely going to be cashing the tickets, the event. What are they called? The little boxes that you win, treasure chests. We'll be cashing them in. Wow, that's disappointing. That looks so nice. That's a mulligan as well. We'll be cashing them in and see if we can get a league out of it. I really hate going to 4 in this deck. It's just not designed to go to 4. I will keep. I'll get rid of that. We don't know whether Ghost Quarter is going to be good. The guy's got Khan in his name, but if I keep a Ghost Quarter thinking it might beat Tron, I just think it's quite optimistic. Oh wow, excellent. I think this might be the mirror. This is definitely what I think it is. Well, we have to be behind because he's had 2 spells, kept 7. So let's see what happens. My list isn't particularly tuned for the mirror. Dismember's not good. Explore's not particularly great. Tireless Tracker's not great. And Explosives is in every list, so that's not a selection issue. Kessig is probably worse in the mirror as well. There's a few things there that I wouldn't choose for the mirror. There's not a lot I can do about life here, though. We just got to crack on. We had 2 unkeepable 7s, 7 and 6s with mulled. Looking forward to having a tech edge. I'm not sure. I think you bring the artifact and enchantment hate in not just because there's nothing else to bring in, but because Amulet is so key in the matchup. The Dismembers, Swan Songs are all a bit of a maybe. There's clean the Scout's pretty important, but there's a lot of things. Where there's a lot of times where the Dismember doesn't do anything. We'll just have to see how much we can take out and what we've got to bring in. Our opponent's just having fun by himself over there. This may become his user if nothing else is going on this turn. Yeah, I think that's the thing to do now. Let's try and make our tireless tracker better than a Primeval Titan somehow. And the best way to do that is to crack clues, so let's crack some. Oh wow, it's a great draw, but it's a turn. We've got mana tied up in the Summoner's Pact, unfortunately. So we can't actually use that. Just have to hope he's not draw. You know, you do keep hands that are ramp and no Titan and just hope for the best, and I've basically sat here waiting, hoping for the best. Because for definite we are all in on this guy. I mean, paying costs seems like a bad piece of text. Don't know how you... Is he going to play... He's got Cavernous Soul, so his Pats... So for Giant, so Pats Negation isn't even relevant. And he's playing around everything. He probably has a good feeling about his board at the minute. 7 is more than 6. Is this a ballista? Ouch. What's he want to kill? The tracker. Okay, well... That's another card I don't own. Let's do some work. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's actually, we're not in a terrible spot, silly as it sounds. That's not a card we want, so let's get rid of it and then let's draw a card. Yeah, this isn't going too bad. I mean, the guy's clearly whiffed a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This goes so it takes out this, then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to pick up this, play it and copy the Ghost Quarter. I'm not blocking with that as user while the ballista's in place, so I might as well attack with it. We know he's got no Titan, he would have just played it if he had one, so this just has to be, you know, unless he's drawn into the Titan, this is going to be pay 8 mana, make the ballista a 3/3 and swing. There's a dismember on my as user here. That's fine. I'm F6ing because there's nothing in his deck that I want to counter at this stage. Yeah. So here we take 3, and it's going to become a bit more than, you know, it then has 3 on the ballista as well, so technically here we're down to 14 if he wants to put us on 14. Obviously has a land to flash in as well. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I have to counter his counter spell. My Ghost Quarter was going to target his cavern, but there's just no need to do that anymore. Just double Ghost Quarter, I might put him down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lands is not enough. So I think I just want more lands. I've got a couple of packs to pay for, so this is safe, a safe way to do things. I'll pick up this Teleria West for later, obviously. I'm probably going to pick up the Temple, so I've got a Scry, and then I'm just going to play as user, and I'm going to play the Temple. I'm going to Scry that to the top. So, if our opponent goes quarters us, I have to work out whether I'm shuffling or not. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. So if this last card is an untapped land, then he can make his ballista a 6/6, which should be annoying. Be annoying, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2, 3 left over. Okay. We have enough here to pay both packs and transmute Teleria West if we need to. I think I want to draw my Primeval Titan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I want to draw my Titan. My opponent's drawn pretty poorly all in all. 1, 2, 3, 4. No reason not to attack. You know, we're in a situation here where the opponent could just rip a Titan, give it haste, and would be in trouble. So I'm going to try and get this Ghost Quarter into play, untapped. I'm going to draw a card. Do it now in case it's a land and we can just play it out. Yeah, I mean, it's the most pointless land in the deck, I'm sure. We'll keep the Titan. We should be in a position to yeah, so Blister's becoming a 5/5, and then next turn obviously you can make it a 6/6. Okay, we make it a 7/7, which will kill the Titan and keep a Ballista in play, which is obviously very good. Ballista's certainly shown us what it can do at this point. He's just drawn terribly. It's been very unlucky. I've just got to try and work out how we get this Titan haste this turn. I'm sure it's possible. Might mean transmuting Teleria West for a Slave Stronghold, which we can then play, and then we can play a Titan and pick up a Gemstone Mine with a bounce land. Play the Gemstone Mine, use the red from this Ghoul Turf and the Gemstone Mine. Feels like there's a better way to do all this, but if we draw a bounce land, I think we can do it. 7, that's 14 damage. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to take it. It's a strong play, I have to admit. It's a nice attack. Let's just yield. We're swinging for 8, and he's got 2 blockers, so I think that's GG based on that transmute. So yeah, so we want Slayer's Stronghold. We want to play it. We want to add 4, 5, so 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. We want to leave the red floating. And then we want to get a bounce land with a gemstone mine. Pick up the gemstone mine, replay it, thanks to his user. Use the red that we floated plus this, and let's get in there with everything. Oof. Yeah, I feel for him there, I really do. With so many mediocre cards in this matchup. But they all look like they can do something sometime, which is sort of annoying. You know, like I could see a world where the Dismember's okay. I can also see a world where you just draw it and it does nothing. You know, our opponent's Dismember didn't really do anything that game. I think I just want to be as streamlined as possible whilst beating Amulet. The fact that we know the guy can play what word am I looking for? Walking Ballista makes these 2 cards a little bit better. I'm actually going to drop the Engineered Explosives. You know, it takes 3 mana to blow up a scout was just not good. And transmuting it up to blow up an amulet for 6 mana, that's not good either. Yeah, Swan Song might be good actually. Enchantment, instant or sorcery, so let's have a look. It's Summoner's Pact. Do I want to counter with Summoner's Pact? On the draw, like I'm not playing this like a control deck, am I? I'm just hoping I'm quicker, I think. If I wanted Swan Song, I'd bring in Dismembers as well. Maybe that's the way to do it on the draw. I don't think so. Let's try and beat his scout hands and his amulet hands. That's what we've done here. We tried to beat his very best hands and be streamlined. You can probably tell I don't have a clue what I should have done there. I know I need to mulligan this. This isn't quick enough against what we're up against. This is fine. It's missing a few cards, but that's one of them. That's one of the cards we were missing. The stone should hopefully be a bounce land or a Simic Growth. Now, this is one of those situations where we're at the mercy of the top of our deck, but I'm okay with that. See, we don't own Cavern, which is a bit annoying. That the Cavern is good against someone's pets. So he's drawn Cavern that turn, actually. So he didn't have an untapped green source, so you could take him off gemstones and forests at this point in hand. And he's got the Dismember, has he? Yeah, he's got the Dismember. Okay. That's pretty good against us. He's slow on cards now, though. It's pretty much the perfect draw, I imagine. I'd really like to draw a Primeval Titan, obviously, and then from there we stone his upper bounce land, hopefully. Can even be Boris Garrison at this point, we've got the lands. If it misses a bounce land, we'll be in bad shape again. This game's been pretty interesting. It's been back and forward a little bit. It must be picking up Cavern. No, okay. I think I'd prefer Cavern on Giant rather than Bajuka Bog in something, but okay, right, that makes sense. So we know he's got Cavern and Bog. That's just right. Cavern and Bog. We'll play Explore first. Play this land. I'm going to Stirrings now in case we find something we really want. That isn't what we want, but these two plus this make that what we want, so yeah, this still isn't good. His Cavern's making our Pact to Negation look silly. Okay, so he's got the 6 mana by the looks of things. Yeah. Pretty sure that's going to be game. We can't draw Titan plus bounce on this turn, so he's got a turn with this. And he's got Ghost Quarter, so all in all, I would say we're in a pretty bad spot. And he's got another Titan in hand. It's a pretty clear sign. May even board out this Pact to Negation. I mean, the odds of it going like this are pretty slim, but it has. Yeah, we are actually quite a long way away. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I mean this guy's quarter is going to ruin us either way. But we've got the bounce land in play. We've got the Titan in hand, I guess. So we have haste, which is on our side. But if he plays another Titan here, we're just dead. I mean, we're not, but we might as well be. There's no reason to get Boris Garrison and Slayer Stronghold if you haven't already got a Titan in hand. Yeah, and he's just added that mana, so I think we'll just scoop at this. Do you know what? We'll keep it, because let's see if he's good enough to get that Ghost Quarter back in play untapped, and let's see if he takes out the Simic Growth. Let's see if let's see a whole host of things. I'd also like to know if we would have won if we had Sunhome, because obviously we don't. What's he picking up? Yeah, okay. That's enough. Let's just see what we draw. Can't harm. Sure we can't win, but see if I want any of these cards back in. I don't think I do. Well, that's the second Ghost Quarter. Thank you for showing me that. Little area west. Okay. Picked up Civic Growth. Plan's not doing anything in play or not. Let's just leave it there. Just want to see what we would draw. So he still has another Ghost Quarter in hand. Yeah, let's get our forest. We don't want to show him anything. What can we do? We can swing for 8. We can swing for 8, but that's all we're really doing. Yeah, Sunham kills us, doesn't it? Can I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Go down to 3, 4, 5, 6. No, yeah, that'll do. That'll do. We've seen enough. Seen enough, and I don't really want to make any changes. The only thing I'm considering is a dismember for a tracker or something like that, or for an EE. Not the EE. So he's got 2 Ghost Quarters at least. It puts us in a funny situation though. Whoever, I mean, I'm 4-0 and the only game I've dropped is against me, so against Amulet, so yeah. Let's see what we can do. Oh, that's awful. That's very close. No, it's not really. It's kept 7 as well. Has to go again. That's okay. I can't say I'm particularly happy about these cards. I'm going to put that on the bottom just because I've got another Scry, so let's see if we can find something a bit better, like a Bounce Land. Let's see. Nah, we'll just get rid of lands. We're going to see enough, hopefully. We'll play the Scout. There's like a sequence here where I draw a Bounce Land or an Amulet and play one and get the other and blah blah blah, so let's just see. He's kept a pretty poor hand considering he was on the draw. I need a Bounce Land. If it shows me Bounce Land and Amulet, that'd be tricky, but it hasn't, so that's fine. We'll play this, pick up this. I'll wait so we've got some more information before scrying, but I basically just want lands at this point. I have scryed 2 to the bottom and we did just C3 with the stirrings, so we've actually not done a great job of making the most of this bad situation. The odds of us drawing the right lands now are quite poor. Oh, Ghost Quarter's good. Shuffles though. And I'm glad he didn't now. I've heard people talk about second cavern, and I just wondered if he was doing that, and if so, how it was working for him. No, we don't want that. Lands, please. Lands, please. Yay. We got lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I can't make 6 next turn. So, as an example, if I could have made 6 next turn, I would have held the Simic Wraith in hand and try and respond to a Ghost Quarter. But because I can't, I'm just going to try and play through it. Play the lands, and then this Scry might get me to 6. It might not, but let's, hope for the best. And actually, if we get to 6, we're still going to be behind because he's likely playing a Titan this turn. Has plenty of land drops. Yeah, so we'll still be behind, but we won't be massively behind because he's got a pack to pay, we don't. It's just that his Titan attacks before our Titan attacks. And he gets 3 land drops, we only get 2. So there's a lot of reasons that this isn't good for us, but didn't even tap for cavern mana. It was risky. Risky, but he kind of knew, I guess. They're just asking me if he's live for prizes or not. The username doesn't ring a bell from my MTG Salvation quests, so yeah. I wonder if he's been on the forum or not, if he's just battling alone. His list looks fairly standard. I imagine the second Ghost Quarter's in the sideboard. So main deck Dismember, which has got slightly more popular recently. Returns Cavern, returns Teleria West, yeah. I assume he chips in for 1 as well. Yeah, he didn't. Fair enough, let's scry. It's not going to do enough. We need lands. Any bounce land, any untapped land? Yeah, I don't think I want to drag this on any longer. So, I have a feeling this might be a second Titan. We were, I won't say we were unlucky. Our opponent drew really poorly in the first game. In the second and third, we just ended up mulliganing into oblivion, and that's not too common. I expect to mulligan a little bit, but we mulled to 5 in both second and third games, and we didn't change our deck in a great deal. It was basically running back game 1. These things happen, but they don't normally happen in the same match. You'd expect you might see that happen 1 out of 2, but it's a shame that it's happened twice in one outing. I'm not really sure what I'm hoping to draw that really solves our problems here, but When he gets double strike land here, we are somewhat behind. If he goes and gets a bounce land and a ghost quarter, we're more than somewhat behind. Yeah, so he's putting me to 14, but next turn he's got 6, 12, 18 damage. And we're going to have, if we have a Titan, we're chump blocking a double strike Titan. Yeah, well, that'll do. So I'm just going to ask him what. Okay, that's fine. I just thought if he wasn't in the running for prizes, we would. So, look, I'm gonna end the stream. I'm gonna try and hit up this guy, have a chat. It's always good to talk to other Amulet people. But yeah, the league sort of went as expected, really. I've been pretty happy with the list lately. I've been very happy with the list, to be honest. I feel like it's pretty much there. I went back and looked at Sam Black's article about Team Unified Modern, and he played Amulet there. He played, if you remember, some Bonfire of the Damned, and he played a list with trackers and explores, and at the time I wasn't really sold on it. I tested the cards out in smaller numbers and it just didn't feel right, but having tried it with more trackers and more explorers, I can honestly say that it feels pretty strong. The bit that I'm unsure on, Sam Black's article, and that's why I mention it, he's running 4 amulets, 4 scouts, 4 explorer, just 2 as user, and his third as user is actually the walking ballista that I don't run, so there's something for me to think about there, of just adding a walking ballista. And he runs 28 lands. I'm not sure I want Dismember. I'm not sure I want the third user. I'm not sure if I want Mortuary Maya at all. I'm not sure if I want. I am pretty sure I want Tectonic Edge. If I was to move this Dismember back to the sideboard, which is where I would be happier with it, but if I was to do that, I'd feel like I'd want the 28th land back in, but I just don't feel like these are main deck lands. So that leaves me in a difficult spot, really, and which is why I've ended up with the Dismember main and the second land in the board, because they just don't feel like main deck cards, whereas the Dismember is closer to a main deck card. As user, still not sure. Like in that last game, I drew an Azusa when I didn't need it, but a Walking Ballista was going to be a 2/2. I was still dead. There's not a lot of scenarios where that third Azusa felt really painful. Where I've drawn a third Azusa and thought, I wish this was a Ballista. And I haven't missed it too much since it's gone, but sort of why I play online is just try and test as many different configurations as possible. The deck doesn't need a massive overhaul. Some of the things in the sideboard that I'm not sure on, Nature's Claim, Vexage, even some of these threats here, I'm not so sure on. I've been pretty sure on Tech Edge, Swan Song and Pyroclasm for quite a while now, and even Dismember. I know I want Artifact and Enchantment Hate, but I don't know what I want. I can't remember the last time I Summoners Pacted up a Reclamation Sage, and because I'm not Summoners Pacting it up, it sort of feels like it's a creature but with no upside. What is the benefit of the 3 mana 2/1? wouldn't I just be better with a 2-mana Seal of Primordium that can go off at instant speed? Like I say, bearing in mind that I'm never Summoner's Pacting it up, so if it's very, very rarely the right thing to Summoner's Pact up, and it's only ever something that you naturally draw, then there's better ways of blowing things up than paying 3 mana for it. And the 2/1 isn't, the body isn't overly relevant, even in my list with Kessig Wolfrun. So I'm moving more and more away from Reclamation Sage. I never really liked it in the first instance. I never thought it was the best thing we could play. Nature's Claim versus Seal. I've talked about this at length, or typed about this at length before. Nature's Claim, for me, is the better card. I like it against burn, targeting my own amulets to counter a Destructive Revelry and gain me 4. So, in essence, gaining me 6. I also like that it can blow up an Eidolon. I like that it's 1 mana, and therefore, it's pretty. I believe it's the better card against Blood Moon. For the record, against Blood Moon, if you're on the draw, they go turn 1, whatever they do. You go turn 1, whatever you do. They go turn 2, play a land, pass a turn. Turn 2, you play your Seal because you're preparing for the Blood Moon, and they go Remand, Mana Leak, Logic Knot, Spell Snare. Whatever they do, they counter your Seal, and then they go to untap turn 3, play Blood Moon, and you've lost. If you have Nature's Claim and you just go turn 2, play a land, pass a turn, it takes a very, very disciplined modern player to go turn 3 Blood Moon and not play it. So they're going to run it out, because they're playing against a deck that relies on land. So they want to run out the Blood Moon on turn 3 because they think, oh look, an easy kill. So they go turn 3 Blood Moon, and you go float a green, play Nature's Claim, don't lose. So Nature's Claim is better against Blood Moon, and it's better against burn. Seal of Primordium is basically only better against Chalice of the Void. Reclamation Sage, I just don't really know where it's better. I just think we've got into this habit of playing it because we've got Summoner's Pact. Sort of like as a way to cheat on the amount of hate we've got for Blood Moon. We can have less Nature's Claims because we've got Reclamation Sage, and that just doesn't. It's just not how it plays out. You don't get in a situation where you're miles behind on board, facing a Blood Moon, and go Summoner's Pact to Rex Sage, blow at the Blood Moon, and by the way, I'm still okay. I've been able to lose my Summoner's Pacts and be totally slowed down by Blood Moon, and I'm totally okay still. You know, a lot of these Blood Moon decks runs Chalice and can put it on 0. A lot of these Blood Moon decks can draw multiples, and you're still relying on drawing these specific cards. It's much better to just Swan Song, Nature's Claim, Seal, or actually just try and play through it with the extra forests, which is difficult. But yeah, basically all that is just to say I'm not sure on these slots. I'm not sure on these slots at all. I'm not sure on the Mortuary Mire. That was the first league I've won it, and I didn't side it in once. It wasn't the right matchups for it. So maybe I've sided it in against Jund. Sorry. It was reasonable. It's always been pretty good against Jund, but so have all these cards. I don't ever really want to drop the Hornet Queen because of the use against Affinity. I don't ever want to drop and other creature strategies like humans. Don't ever want to drop the Thragtusk because of its relevance against Burn, and it's good against Jund, and it's good against a whole host of things. I want the third tracker because of the sideboard plan of sort of not worrying about Fulminators and Ghost Quarters. Tireless Tracker does a really good job of almost ignoring Fulminators and Ghost Quarters, so I want to keep that. So, this leaves us with a few flex slots. I like this slot. I'm not so sure on these. If I take the Vex Sage out, there'll be something coming in that does a very similar job. Relic Thar, I think, stays. I'm not a big fan, but I could see that just being another Relic and be pretty happy with that, because Relic has more uses elsewhere, but still good versus Storm and the like. So, and it costs 1 instead of 6. I'd rather have my good card against Storm cost 1, not 6. It's just a no-brainer, really. Mortuary Mire is great, but I don't know if I need it. The reason I went to it was because Punt Then Wine was playing it, and it looked incredible against Tron. But I don't know. I don't know if how much help I need there. I mean, it is nice to have the help, but I definitely don't feel like I need it against Jund. Not with these main deck trackers and sideboard trackers that took Queen. So these cards are up for the chop. All these cards. And that league didn't really do anything to change my opinion on any of it really. So it was pretty smooth sailing until we played against the better deck, which is actually Amulet. So confirmed it is the best deck in the format, as we thought. Doesn't matter if you run Kessig or Sunhome, the deck is still great. I'll stop my ramblings there. Let me know in the comments what you think. We'll get another league in soon, I'm sure. Cheers, guys. Take care.